cover that for an hour and a half or maybe 2 hours on video number 6. You can watch on the website or get on the table out there. Okay?
Okay, if you want one that's a macroevolutionary related mutation that might have actually done some good, let me show you that. Here's the biggie. If we evolved from ape-like creatures, it's believed that about 2 million years ago, a creature that was already walking on 2 legs, that was already bipedal, like Afarensis or Lucy, still had a tiny brain than a chimp. Walking upright, but still a tiny brain. And then for reasons that I've given 3-hour lectures on last year at the college, the brain grew explosively big, very, very fast. So we now have a brain that is 3 times bigger than a chimp. Okay? The question is, how could that have happened through mutations to DNA? All right? So I'm talking about big-time evolution here. I'm talking about as big a thing as you could discuss. How did our brains get here? All right, Boston, in a lab in Boston, there's a group of people who study brain evolution. And they asked the question, can we take a mammal? Now, you can't do these experiments in humans. It's illegal. You'll be thrown in jail. So we have to do them in other mammals. And the easiest ones to do them are in mammals like mice. Someone can try this in a chimp if they want to. I'd have ethical problems, frankly, doing something like this with a chimp. But anyway, the experiment was done in a mouse, which is a mammal, just like us. And they asked, is there any way that we can cause a mouse to have a bigger brain in a single step? Okay? And what they did, for anyone here who's a biology teacher, I'll be technical for a minute. What they did is they took the beta-catenin gene, which codes for a protein that is known to help cells keep re-entering into the cell division cycle, causing things to get bigger. And they had reasons to believe that if they could upregulate the beta-cat gene in the central nervous system, that it might make a bigger brain. So they cloned the beta-cat gene. They inactivated the amino terminus of it so that it would not be degraded, stick around longer in the cells. They cloned in front of it an enhancer from the intron 2 of another gene that they knew was expressed in the central nervous system. They put it into a mouse embryo. They grew up the mouse. Okay? And here's the results. The next slide. Okay, that's phase space diagram for how they evolved. And the next one. There's the cover picture from Science. This was published in 2002. Made the cover of Science. Next slide. Here's the okay, they're trying to make nerve cells, central nervous system cells, keep dividing. The next one, there's the technique that they used, putting this enhancer in front of it to upregulate the beta-cat gene. And here's the slide that you really need to see. Here is a normal mouse brain, and here's the upregulated beta-cat mutant. Okay, this brain was almost twice the mass of a normal mouse brain. Almost twice. And notice something else. Notice that there are no convolutions in a mouse's brain like ours, the sulci and so forth. Notice that this brain spontaneously formed convolutions very similar to a human brain. And that's in a single-step mutation.
And the fact that they can do something in the laboratory certainly is not proof that it did happen in nature. So again, you're back to a religious belief, not a scientific statement, okay? And the convolutions, I think, would be normal. See, humans have a section of the brain called Broca's convolution that allows speech. No other animal has that. There are giant steps in our brain. Even arranging them in order wouldn't prove it happened. You could take an animal with a small brain and an animal with a big brain. That proves no relationship. If I get buried on top of a hamster, that does not prove he's my grandpa, okay? So what they're doing is they're doing stuff on paper and imagining how it might have happened. This is not real science. This is imagination. This is fairy tale stuff. So you can play with the genes and cause them out. They do the same thing with polyploidy with vegetables and stuff. You can take strawberries and manipulate the genes, and they double the chromosome number, and you get giant strawberries that taste terrible. Okay? But they're twice the size. That's not new information. It's a doubling of existing information. No different than a cow having 5 legs or something, you know. It's not new information. It's a doubling or expanding of existing information. There are no examples where a naturally occurring mutation has caused an increase in genetic complexity. Richard Dawkins, who refused to debate me from Cambridge University when I was over there a few months ago, Richard Dawkins was asked on TV, he said, can you think of one example of a mutation that has caused an increase in genetic complexity? Evolution would require billions of them. Can you name one, please? He was dead silent for 19 seconds. Finally, he said, shut off the camera, please. There aren't any. There are none. So, had to be designed, my case, okay? Okay, I don't think I am the issue at all. I think the truth is the issue, and God's Word is the issue, which is basically at stake. I had probably 15 of Dr. Rainbow's students come to tell me that he spends his entire class pushing the evolution theory and really gives creationists or Christians a hard time. So he's using tax dollars to do that. So I guess I feel like I'm defending truth. I'm not defending me. If I came across as prideful, I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm just a lowly high school science teacher that's sick and tired of his tax dollars being used to destroy the faith of kids. That's all.
Ernest Haeckel falsified and was proven